Hey guys, you're listening to No Limits, episode 35. I'm with my co host Bree, who likes to play with yarn, my other co host Sam, who likes to play with his Pulse headset. And we have all the gang back together for this episode, and Microsoft and Activision and Jim Ryan are stupid, and all the other news. So without further ado, you're listening to No Limits, a PlayStation podcast. Please play the intro, Bree. Thanks. What an intro. I'm going to pat myself.
Did you make it?
Well,
okay,
anyway.
I have to tell you, it took everything in me to not interrupt you doing the intro and just like playing it. I was so tempted to just like click play.
And it auto-mute, and I'm always correct, and it auto-mutes you when you play the intro too, so that would be a bit defeating. Unless I unmute myself and speak over it.
You could speak over it, yeah.
Oh,
we
God,
have discovered that.
Wait.
Kevin would kill us.
Wait, it's... Okay. I need to talk to you guys in private about something that occurs soon, but it's going to be good.
Oh.
Actually, I'll put it in the chat.
Okay. Live reacting.
Wait, chat is not
to a
supported for
message
the
platforms
you selected. Okay, I'll send it
Just
to you in Discord, guys.
Discord. Yeah, what are you doing?
All right.
I'll also say that was the first time that I haven't been sat in complete silence whilst the intro is played. Every other time thus far, just the video hasn't played for me. I've just been sat in silence, no music, no footage, no nothing. And that's the first time it's worked on my end. So I actually got to listen to the jingle. Which is nice.
Maybe it's because Bree's the host this time.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Taylor somehow rigged it.
Yeah.
Taylor somehow rigged it so that you can't hear the opening. That's so sad because it's a good one.
Yeah. Well, I'll read the script now. Hello, everyone. My name's Taylor, and you're listening. Oh, my God. And I'm joined by my co-hosts, Sam and Brianna. We're all together at last.
We're all together.
and you're listening to No Limits, a PlayStation podcast. Remember, you can find the video version of this podcast over on youtube.com/SaveTheGameMedia every Tuesday. And while you're over there, make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you'd rather listen to audio, we are on all your favorite podcast services, and we would love it if you could leave us a review. It helps us grow, and we would love any feedback. If you want to support us and get early access to all Save the Game Media content, head over to patreon.com/SaveTheGameMedia and choose the tier that's right for you. Just like our current patrons, Bucky Blue, Hopple, Alpaca Tom, Amon, Fabulous Brianna, Brianna's mom, Brianna's brother, Brianna's wife, Nikolai Knight, Cypher Primus, Brendan Myers, Marcus O'Neill, Lillian, Mimi J, The Snack Network, David Hotright, Dave Harp, the Xbox Expansion Pass, John Cena, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Oh my God, those two last people have not joined the Patreon yet.
What? Yes. I would have never guessed.
Yeah. But anyway, go check out the Patreon. It's great. We have content.
It's $1.
Please watch it. Post shows every week. My own podcast, Leftovers, where I talk about gaming, cooking, and fitness.
I've been catching up on that recently, by the way. That's good.
Oh, thanks. And Brianna, is Book Bonanza Patreon only?
Nope, it is not Patreon only.
Is the Anime Cast Patreon only?
No, it is not. But you can get an Anime Cast post show unless the schedule shifts, and then there's another show that I can't talk about yet. There's another show coming, and then there would be a post show for that one, depending on the week.
I know. The other show is your podcast
reaction to OnlyFans.
No, it's reaction where you do a meta-analysis of Friends and why it's a horrible show.
I could probably do that. I've never seen it.
Seinfeld is so much better than Friends. It's not close. All you 90s TV nerds or whatever, I've been watching Seinfeld aggressively. Why
not passively?
The only 5 episodes of Seinfeld that are worse than Friends is the first season of Seinfeld, which is 5 episodes.
Yikes.
Not good. They call Kramer a different name, and it's not Cosmo, I think. Or like some names are switched up. Anyway, how are you guys doing? What have you been playing recently?
Nothing. I've been working overtime. So basically I work and then I work out and then I eat dinner or make dinner depending on the day, and then I like clock back in until like midnight, and then I go to bed. So that's what I've been doing.
What do you get? At least like what, a time and a half for OT?
Yeah, so like 39 an hour.
Do you at least accrue PTO at a higher rate too?
I don't know the answer to that question.
You better. Or what I would do is like, I know one of the jobs I could have taken. It's like if you work extra on one day, you can just like if you work having to do massive OT, you can just take like 3 days off, paid for it, non PTO, just as like they call it comp days, compensation days.
I mean, I could check my ADP, but I'm not sure. Yeah.
Ooh. Well, thanks, Mrs. Yarn or Miss Yarn. Or actually, that's
whoa.
an antiquated way
I'm
of
not Yarn.
way of addressing someone who identifies as femme. Anyway, Sam, how are you doing?
Happening.
I'm okay. Thank you, Taylor. I'm similarly rather tired, doing a lot of work as well. In terms of what I've been playing many things, one of which, and the majority of my time, has been taken up by Wolong Fallen Dynasty, which is the game I'm currently covering for IGN.
Oh, you sell out.
You know, I'm just a scumbag. I'm sorry.
I had no idea you worked for IGN this whole time.
It's okay. While I'm saying this, why don't you introduce our latest sponsor, Manscaped? Manscaped doesn't sponsor us. That's a joke, Manscaped.
I sponsor us.
I've enjoyed Wolong thus far, but I'm sort of ready for my coverage of it to be over. I can sort of feel not only with the game and sort of what I'm having to do to cover it, but also just sort of my physical condition. I'm not quite there yet to do the hours of sitting at a desk with a laptop. I'm not quite there yet, so I'm sort of eager to get it done. And I think over the next couple of days from day of recording, I should be finished with it, so that's good. And then I'll have a little bit of a break. Other things I've been playing, I have tried out a tiny bit of Minecraft Dungeons because it was free on PS Plus this month. Not really for me, to be fair. So I bounced off of that pretty quickly. There is something else I've played for the first time. I can't believe it's taken me this long to get to it. Both of you will obviously know. I'm also mainly directing it at Taylor because he's finished the base game, but I played through
what does that
for the
mean?
first time.
Bloodborne DLC?
No. I've done Old Hunters. Don't worry about that, Taylor. Don't worry. I did Echoes of the Eye for Outer Wilds.
I still haven't done. I got lost like in the first 2 hours, and I'm like, "What the hell?"
That's it. I've spoken a couple of times at least on the podcast about how much I absolutely adore Outer Wilds.
Thanks for reminding me to resume that DLC. I might look up a guide to progress because at this point I just want to play.
Probably for the best, at least like to get you kick-started.
Sorry, I know to enter the DLC, but like once
I'm
in there, I'm like, okay, now where do I
go? Section can be a little bit troubling, but I think once you figure out some of the mechanics, they loop back around quite a few times. So it's sort of, and part of the joy of Outer Wilds is the discovery of it as opposed to just guiding it. So there's a balance.
Really hesitant.
But I played through that. That is, in my opinion, similarly excellent. It is just a continuation. It's more Outer Wilds, which is something that I will never not be glad to get. So thoroughly recommend that to anybody. And the only other thing I've been playing is something that is not a great game by any stretch, but it's incredibly difficult to come by, at least in the UK. I managed to track down a physical copy of Deadpool on the PS4, which is originally a PS3 game. I'm a big Marvel sellout. I am a simp for Marvel. I'm unafraid to say that. So I played through most Marvel titles, and that is something that has been a gap in my gaming history for many years now. And again, it's not a great game by any stretch of the imagination, but it is very funny. Very meta, much like Deadpool, the character himself. And Nolan North voices him, so that's great. That's fun. Yes, I've been having a bit of a blast with that, trekking through that in a little bit of the free time that I have had recently. What about you, Taylor? What have you been playing?
Thanks. Yeah, I played a little bit of Breath of the Wild this past week. I'm going to progress as my road to Tears of the Kingdom, as some people would say, starts.
Mm-hmm.
I have two more towers to do. I don't know what their technical name is. Let me Google it. Breath of the Wild tower name.
Shrines?
Sheikah Towers.
No.
Yeah, so they are towers. The Sheikah Towers. So yeah, like basically the Ubisoft landmark to reveal the map towers.
Yeah.
I have two more of those to go. One more Divine Beast. Associated shrines with those locations and things to find. And then Ganon. So getting near the home stretch here. And I snagged, I don't know if I mentioned it last episode, but thanks to Kevin, the Muffin Mon, I snagged Metroid Prime Remastered on Amazon physically, which has been overly difficult to obtain thanks to Reggie. Just kidding, Reggie's not boss anymore. But Nintendo, and it's still not shipped yet, but I'm glad I have an order coming. So I guess I've been in Nintendo land lately. When it comes back to PlayStation, I need to renew my PlayStation Plus membership. I haven't because I'm waiting to get my first paycheck from work. And I did not get the monthly games. I did not get Mafia Definitive Edition, which I'm sad about. But it's okay. I'll cry.
I played it and platinumed it for you, Taylor.
Thanks.
That's
I can always get it for like -$2 down the line.
Oh yeah, it's very cheap.
I forgot to mention, I played a little bit of the Wolong demo. I think the game looks a bit rough.
Yes,
I should say, visually, graphically, the game looks like an early PS4 title, at least from the demo. The combat reminds me more of an I'll call it arcadey Souls. Then, because right with the morale system, you can grind in areas so much that you eventually can take down the boss in a few hits without much.
Pretty essentially,
without the time commitment it would take to make very easy work of a boss in a Souls game. If you were to do it in a Souls game, it would take much more grinding. But Wolong's interesting take on Neo. It has some Neo Ninja Gaiden influence. Of course, Neo because the same developers, but Ninja Gaiden influence is definitely in there too. And it looks like a cool game. I just kind of stopped playing it after half hour. So I'm like, oh, I could be playing this, or I could try getting back in Elden Ring. I'd rather do the latter instead. So I think let me back up. When I renew my PS Plus for PlayStation, I'm going to go finish Ghost of Tsushima and play Plague Tale Innocence. Those are on the docket. But for now, in the immediate gaming, what I'm going to be doing next is Breath of the Wild until my paycheck comes in. And there's no shortage of things to do in that game. So I'm a Nintendo sellout is what I'm trying to say. Like similar to Sam is a Marvel sellout. And Nintendo sellout who does a PlayStation podcast to what's the word? To mask and repress his true feelings about gaming. That's my arc, and I'm kind of feeling like Prince Zuko, guys.
I love Zuko.
I feel it.
Thanks, yeah. I do things like try to capture a bald kid on a sphere.
Of course.
Of air, and I drew a blue arrow on his head, and he kept it.
Whoa. You know what's so crazy to me? I still I can't get over it. Is that they the airbending that you see in the show, they can't see it.
Oh, it looks like
because it's literally just animated for the purpose of the show.
So it's like someone just shooting
air.
Yeah, just shooting wind at you, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, an air ball you'd probably be able to see because other objects would be swirled in that ball of air with it, leaves and little rocks and stuff like that.
Yeah, but the other stuff, I don't think you unless it's picked up from the ground or whatever. Or there's dust in there.
You know how much glass you could break airbending? Oh man.
I know. I've spent way too much time with Avatar: The Last Airbender
or earthbending. Oh boy, earthbending, a protest with airbending, that would be nuts.
You know, they can technically, like, airbenders can pull the air out of you. Like, they could technically do that. They just don't.
Oh, that's hot.
Yeah.
And then you suffocate to death? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But they're like pacifists, which is why they don't do it.
The most like parasitic, quote, parasitic bending thing I remember from the show is when, I guess this is a major spoiler.
Bloodbending?
Oh, wait. No, bloodbending takes the I was thinking of something else, but it's definitely bloodbending. Oh, what an episode that was. Jeez. I'm surprised they were able to put that in a kid show. Like, man, I mean, I know it's for all ages.
There's a lot of stuff.
But for a show that's applicable to kids, I was not expecting that episode to get that dark.
Yeah. There's a lot of dark episodes, like the whole stuff with Jet and like
Jet is toast.
Yeah.
There's no war in Ba Sing Se.
I could literally sit and talk about Avatar: Last Airbender for hours, so we should
I watch Korra?
Yes, you would simp for Korra so hard, Taylor.
Dude, she's like a kid. Come on.
I simp for Zuko. Like, come on, dude. I'm not saying like, oh, I want to like get with this person.
Okay, when you say simp for someone, Bree, that's nah. Don't use the word simp for. The verb simp for, okay? In that context.
Taylor, don't tell me what words to use.
All right, don't tell me what yarn to
There's a fish back there. I will murder it.
Oh, cool. Fillet it up. Send it to
I could not fillet it. It's just yarn, so.
Anyway. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention, too, a lot of stuff for me. My PC's back up and running, so coming to you guys from my PC, and my boot drive actually has not 6 gigabytes of space. It has like 20. I don't know what I did to free up this much space, but it's Windows isn't truthful to you when it's telling you how much space an application is taking up. I removed Adobe Acrobat because I don't have access to anymore. Like, I removed the Adobe Creative Cloud off my computer. Freed up like 9 gigabytes of space.
Jesus.
Whereas it's only listed as 600 megs, which is 0.6 gigabytes. So anyway, living on the high life out here. Okay. Anyway, let's get right into the. I'm not doing Keemstar impression. Yay! Activision Blizzard acquisition news just happened, guys, and it's stupid.
Did you see my note that I left for you?
Yeah, I deleted it.
Yeah, I noticed. I left a note for Taylor in the document that was like, "Please help me. I don't understand what's going on. Why are we still here?"
Yeah, it said, "Taylor, please leave, or I'll dox you." That was the night. I acted accordingly, and I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Play ball,
anyway,
Taylor, play ball.
Yeah, Microsoft and the CMA are still in talks about the Activision Blizzard merger, to put it lightly. So Microsoft, why are we talking about this? Because I think Jim Bryan, actually, let me back up. I'll just read this. Microsoft is leaning into their deals with Nintendo and Nvidia they announced recently, now in their official marketing, with the tagline, quote, "More games for more players and more platforms." Recently, Sony suggested a myriad of ways Microsoft could hurt Call of Duty on PlayStation in regards to the merger, and requesting the CMA block it. And Sony included in these ways Microsoft could hurt them with COD, introducing a version of the game that intentionally includes bugs and errors. So Sony is saying, what if they release this game on our platform and they intentionally screw it up to hurt our place in the market? And according to Activision Blizzard's chief communication officer, Lulu Chang Masurvey, I hope I pronounced that right, Jim Ryan claims, quote, "I don't want a new Call of Duty deal. I just want to block your merger." And the CMA deadline for their final decision for the acquisition is April 26th. And that comes, I think, a day after other European regulatory decisions are due. It also
we should deal with this another month.
Oh my! I don't know, man. I just want to go home.
Same.
It also came to light that last month Microsoft said it would allow new COD titles on PlayStation Plus day one, in addition to their proposed 10-year contract keeping Call of Duty titles accessible on PlayStation. So, yeah. I understand what I don't know if Jim Ryan... number one, I don't think Jim Ryan actually believes what he's saying. I think it might have been something that came... those wording... I don't want a new Call of Duty deal. I just want to block your merger. That might have come from someone even above him for him to say that and to do everything part of Jim's job is preservation in addition to progression. So he's doing everything he can to hold Sony's place in the market. And he's also standing as the scapegoat if something like this doesn't happen. So there's a lot of... basically, he's the public-facing punching bag for controversy on the subject, and that's also intentional by Sony, in my opinion. They just want to delay this as long as they can, but at this point, I think most folks know some version of this deal is inevitable.
Yeah.
At this point, and I think it's stupid. And why are we still talking about it? Because this news is a bit major. There was other news in previous months on the topic that felt like it was kind of static. But this is, as we're getting close to the deadline, I don't know, I feel like an obligation to talk about it. I'm not going to make a 30-minute meta-analysis of it. Just wanted to mention what the current state of things are with the ABK acquisition. But what do you guys think?
Business as usual. I'm not surprised Ryan said that. Whether that is, like you said, what he actually believes, or whether that is something coming down from the board of investors and stuff like that, or a bit of both. Like, it's not surprising. Obviously, he would want to block it. Something of this scale, it is pretty much unprecedented. So why would he want to risk upending the market position that he has? That's fair enough. I'm not overly, I think I've said this before, I'm not overly fond of a lot of Microsoft and Xbox higher ups like airing dirty laundry on Twitter and stuff like that. I'm not sure how much I vibe with that. I get the idea of transparency in terms of what is going on, but when there's like legal stuff happening, I feel like you're kind of opening yourself up for criticism unnecessarily by saying, oh, he said, she said, this is, we're trying to be the good guys. And that's not exactly what she's saying, but they're trying to, over social media, paint negative images of specific people within the rival company. And it's just like, that's kind of a bit dirty to me. I don't think it needs to get that personal, because Sony isn't firing shots at Phil Spencer or Matt Booty or anybody in the Xbox teams. It's weird that Xbox executives are doing the opposite. I get Sony is being difficult, but what else do you expect them to do? They're obviously going to be difficult. I think the important thing to note, and it's something that a lot of people overlook, is Microsoft saying that they would allow COD onto PS Plus on day one. That is, of course, from a consumer perspective, an excellent thing. That is very reassuring, and it's great to hear. But Sony have said that they are not Microsoft. They are not the same company. They cannot afford the size of the IP that COD is to put it onto PS Plus day one. They would need to, not necessarily dramatically, but increase the cost of PlayStation Plus to match the value of which Call of Duty would bring to that subscription service.
Right.
So it's like they I don't think that they can justify that with the realistic potential loss of revenue and I should say consumers that would come with that move. Microsoft can brunt that cost. Sony necessarily can't. So a lot of people have read that and seen like, oh, well, they offered to put it on PlayStation Plus. What's the big deal? There is minutia in terms of the finances of both companies that would differentiate how they could actually approach that kind of situation. So that's worth pointing out.
All right, but what if they include free skins?
Well, now I'm sold. Yep, all sorted.
Yep.
Done.
Free skins made by Bree's Yarn. Wait, Bree, did you make that? You?
No. Oh, I
Okay.
forgot to put this back. Awkward. No, I did not. I got it from the Pokemon Center in Japan.
Oh, great. Anyway, yeah, Sam, it's a good point.
And also, like, as arbitrary as it is, like the whole 10-year thing, it is absolutely reasonable for Sony to be concerned. Well, what about year 11? You know, like, yes, you could renew the deal, and I'm sure that would realistically happen in one form or another. But it is absolutely within reason for Sony to be like, well, you said 10 years, that's okay. But what about the 11th year or 12th year? What happens if you don't want to renew the deal? What happens to us then? You know, that's a long way out for us consumers. So we're like, well, what's the big deal? You'll have it for 10 years. That's great. You can figure something out in the meantime, but that's not really how these businesses work. So, you know, it's not none of this is as clear cut as it seems. There are no black and whites. There's just a lot of grays going on here.
Do you think that this is how I imagine? And I'm not saying that this could just be Jim Ryan being a jerk, but what if it was like the conversation was like, hey, is there anything we can do to convince you to like let this go through? And then that's what the response was.
Oh.
Like, I don't want to make a deal. Like, I just don't want this merger to go through, kind of thing.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't know what the immediate conversation history prior to the comment was.
I know, that's why I'm like, the comment is really out of context, and it could be taken like a million different ways depending on what was going on.
Yeah.
Oh, I made Jim Ryan out to look like an evil villain in the thumbnail just for fun.
He may well be, and it's kind of the image that Microsoft are trying to portray of him. So it's
there. You go. I'm a Sony shill, and I'm peddling PR garbage.
Yeah.
Or sorry, Microsoft shill, and I'm peddling PR garbage against.
You can't even get the companies right.
Undermining my podcast. Yeah.
Are you here to infiltrate for Kevin?
I'm here. I'm not going to say what I was going to say.
Oh, okay.
I'll say what I was going to say in Discord.
Okay. I'm scared, you guys. I know.
But yeah, no, that quote from Jim Ryan, it doesn't look good, but it could very easily, as you said, Bree, be very heavily taken out of the context in which it was provided. It could be, you know, we're taking her at her word, it could be misquoted. There could be a lot of different wordage going on within those two sentences, or things that were omitted that would have necessarily provided a little bit of extra context. The sentiment could have been the same, and it probably was, but there could have been more to it. And I imagine there probably was more to it, but for you know, simplicity's sake, from Microsoft's, you know, end of things, they want to be as clear cut, as precise, concise as possible. And that quote we've seen doing gangbusters in terms of the online communities discussing it. So they've achieved what they wanted to, I think. Yeah.
High school drama happening with companies.
That's all it is. That's all it is. That's all it is.
It's crazy.
I love it.
I don't.
No, we're not. The last thing I want to do is show McDonald's.
Sponsored by McDonald's, everybody.
No. Ronald McDonald lit my house. No, I'm not going to say that. All right.
Taylor, whoa.
First we were talking about the Grinch. Now we're talking about Ronald McDonald.
Oh, God. No, okay. Okay, who wants to read the next story?
Sony has launched version 7.0 of the PS5 software this week, and it includes some big updates and quality of life improvements. The updates include VRR at 1440p. US and UK players can now use voice commands to capture gameplay by saying things such as, "Hey, PlayStation, start recording." I'm safe. Yeah.
Hey, PlayStation.
Stop it.
Hiding my self-worth.
You can also now filter out VR and VR2 games in your library. You can transfer data between PS5 consoles. PS5 owners that own a game's physical disc can now use the same disc installation to play the digital copy without inserting the disc into their console. And one of the big ones, Discord voice chat. It was revealed in a blog post that the cross voice feature is available once users have linked their Discord and PlayStation accounts. This can be done by visiting the settings menu on Discord itself on PC or mobile, and then selecting connections followed by PlayStation. Coming from Taylor Lyles at IGN. This is good, right? This is all good things.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused about the physical disc phenomenon. Does that mean if you own a game physically and digitally, the same game, you don't need to input the disc?
Yeah, so basically, there's like two different ways. Hold on, let me look it back up because I literally
from what I
gathered,
let me look it up.
it was that if you have a physical copy of a game, you put it into your PS5, you download and install the game.
Mm-hmm.
If you have, say the game was like a PS4, PS5 cross-buy thing, you then, with the version installed on your PS5, you wouldn't need the disc in to launch the game afterwards. That's what I read.
What I'm confused. Okay, so here's okay. So first, so there's two things that it says. So first, it's say one user of your PlayStation 5 has bought a digital game, but you haven't. If you then buy a physical copy of the game, insert the disc, the PlayStation 5 will play the game on your profile without needing any further installation. The second side to the update is that if you've installed a game on your PS5 via physical disc, then purchase the digital version, you can now play it without having to insert your disc in the console. But wouldn't you need, like, if you purchase the digital version of a game, wouldn't you not need the disc anyways? That's
like what I would have thought. Maybe they, for some reason, they still required you to put in the disc because before, for some reason, they attached the license to play the game with the disc. If the PlayStation knows you activated the game before with the physical copy, even if you own a digital one. It's probably what happened.
That there is like licensing and checks that happen with the physical copies.
That's something they should have fixed a while ago.
Accessing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Some quality of life things just get lost in the fray when you're trying to support a relatively new console. So I guess I get it. I say relatively new. It's been 2.5 years. Granted, it's been a strained time getting a PlayStation. So still, I think early in the lifespan. So there's like arguably more pressing things they were focusing on than that, but it's nice to hear now.
No, I get it. It's just, it was like, it just seemed like such an obvious thing that I think I read like 3 or 4 articles on this last night, and then until Sam like literally just said that, I still was like, I don't get it.
Cool. And have you guys tried Discord yet on PlayStation? Because I haven't.
No,
I don't have friends.
I'm just gonna wait for when it's fully integrated. You know, I don't want to have to deal with, like, it's weird to me that PlayStation like entered a thingy with a deal, partnership, whatever, with Discord, and
they're in a thingy.
They don't have full, complete integration yet, and Microsoft kind of do with Xbox. It's weird to me that it's played out that way. But at least there's some version of it. Not that I will ever really use Discord on PlayStation, I don't think. It just seems, compared to the other ways that I access Discord, it just seems a bit more convoluted than that. The only potential way I could see it is if I was already on a voice call on Discord on my mobile or PC, and I wanted to transfer that over onto the PS5. But even then, you could just keep the voice chat on your mobile or PC. So it's a thing, but I'm sure a lot of people will make use of it. So
yeah, the thing is it's like, it's too late. I've already figured out how to fix it. You know what I mean? Like, it's annoying to have 2 headphones, but like, you figure it out. You have game audio on one thing, you have other audio on the thing. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. It'll all be okay. Probably. You're muted.
You're muted, Taylor.
Again.
I'm not muting it. But
You're
VRR
not muted.
1440p is also nice. So good overall update out of beta. So yeah, Bree, you want to talk about
Capcom?
Cappy Cole? Yeah.
Don't get me started on the capybara stuff that's going on TikTok right now.
Cappy Cole, Gabagool. You know what I'm talking about? That cured Italian meat?
No, I can't. Oh yeah, actually, I have had that. Yeah, no, I mean, I can't. As soon as you said Cappy, like I heard, it just went capybara, and there's a capybara song that's going around on TikTok. And
Cappy from Super Mario Odyssey.
No, capybara.
Okay.
Everything announced in the Capcom's 2023 March Spotlight. Woo. So we have Resident Evil 4 Chainsaw Demo is now available. It's a trial version of the game that takes place at the beginning as Leon first enters the village. We have an Exoprimal release date revealed.
Dino Tornadoes, everybody, here we go.
Here we go. Woo. July 14th, 2023. They also revealed that the game is an always online game with a continuous internet connection required. There will be a cross-platform open beta test from March 17th to 19th. Somebody should do this and send me screenshots. I need it in my life.
If you think I'm going to subject myself to that,
I don't want dinosaur
you are
tornadoes.
sorely mistaken.
Oh, come on. It's going to be a good time. Okay. Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak is coming to PlayStation and Xbox April 28th. Ghost Trick is coming to modern platforms on June 30th, 2023. The DS title remaster features updated graphics, a better frame rate, and a new challenge feature. All 37 songs of the soundtrack have a newly arranged version from the composer of the Great Ace Attorney soundtrack. I actually have played Ghost Trick. It's actually really good. It's kind of messed up, but it's good. Capcom showed a short teaser for Resident Evil Death Island, the new movie coming this summer. We already knew the film included Leon S. Kennedy and Chris Redfield, but the teaser marked the announcement of Jill Valentine's inclusion. The new Street Fighter 6 trailer revealed the game's final color commentator, Japanese actor Hikaru Takahashi. Takahashi can commentate matches in Japanese, narrating the action in Street Fighter 6's battle. Her inclusion brings the total number of Street Fighter commentators to 8. There will also be subtitles for the commentators in 13 languages. Capcom also revealed that the Capcom Pro Tour 2023 season will feature Street Fighter 6. And then lastly, we got a new trailer for Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection, which is coming April 14th, 2023. This collection will include 499 patch cards that were previously exclusively available in Japan as physical collectibles. They're going to be digital now. So, woo, collectibles.
Yay.
This comes from Logan Plant at IGN.
God, all the IGN shilling today. This is excellent. I love it. This is cool. I mean, most of the stuff here I don't really personally care about. I have played the Resident Evil 4 demo. I am thoroughly excited for the game. I am very glad that we've got it on Fantasy Critic. It is just as good as I remember. And it's looking like they put just as much care into this one as they did the Resident Evil 2 remake. I enjoyed the Resident Evil 3 remake, but obviously there were some issues there, cut content and stuff. And as far as I'm aware, there's a fair amount of stuff cut from Resident Evil 3, which is why it was so short in comparison. But it was weird, like, because you did so good with Resident Evil 2 and cut nothing.
You think they just
changed
like
a few
rushed
things, but
to get the game out and just like
maybe
cut those sections?
Maybe, or maybe they thought that they were streamlining and making it more, because there was some stuff that they cut, like actual like decision making moments. So like kind of getting off topic, but in the original RE3, whenever Nemesis ran into you, you had to like make a choice as to whether to stay and fight it or run, and that kind of dictated some of the encounters and dialogue that you'd have later on in the game. Whereas obviously every time that you meet Nemesis in the remake, it's scripted. Like and it's not even like he's pursuing you like Mr. X did in Resident Evil 2, which again was, I think, the case. I haven't played the original RE3 in however long, but I think that was the case when Nemesis was just like actively pursuing you through certain parts of the game. So they cut that as well. Anyway, but it looks like they have, as far as I know, not cut any content from RE4 Remake. It looks great, plays great. Chainsaw Guy is just as terrifying as he always has been. So yeah, can't wait. Everything else, I don't care, to be honest.
Do you remember when they were like, "We're never gonna remake Resident Evil 4"?
Yeah, and I understand why they'd say it, because it's such a beloved game and it's hailed as one of the best of all time and stuff. And it's like, until you see the money that the other two did, you're not going to be inclined to try and like potentially taint it. But when there's that much money on the table, and Resident Evil 4 is going to sell so well, I think, that it was inevitable. It was going to happen.
And it's a great fantasy get.
It is.
It was, yeah.
Oh yeah, I never played. I know I asked this before, but I forgot what you said. Should I just go straight into RE4 first, or should I play RE2 Make or RE3 Make before?
It's up to you.
Wait, okay, hang on. So you haven't played RE2 or 3 Remake?
Nope.
Interesting. Have you played any of the original Resident Evils?
I got 30% through Resident Evil 7, and then I had to quit because I was scared.
Okay.
But
what were you going to say, Bree? Because I cut you off. I'm sorry.
Sorry, no, I cut you off. What'd you say?
No, I cut you. No.
No, I cut you off.
Yeah, no. All I was gonna say is that it just depends on like the time and stuff that you have. If you just want to jump straight into RE4, I think you'd be okay. But I will say I do think that you're missing out, especially on RE2. And again, like what Sam said, like RE3 was really good, but it just wasn't as good as 2. So like you can still enjoy it, but maybe not as like important and pressing to play as 2 would be. 2 is a really fantastic game.
Yeah. I would say the same. I think if you were going to play any of them,
RE2 Remake is $10 on PlayStation right now.
It's super cheap, and it is a lot of the time as well. And typically there is a bundle that typically happens where you get RE2 and 3, and it's maybe like $5 extra, which is super weird, but sometimes that happens. I got both for £15, which is probably a little bit more, like closer to $20 maybe, but still you're talking about relatively cheap. And I would happily pay more than that for both of those games.
I paid full individually. Price. I got them like, I got it.
Raccoon City Edition, $15.
Yeah, there you go. That is a steal, honestly. I would say maybe if you're really interested in trying one, I would say RE2 Remake first, and then if you really enjoy that, then go for RE4 Remake, because they're relatively similar in terms of like gameplay style, but RE4 is more action. So if you play RE2 and it is survival horror, and you vibe with like the third-person camera controls and how the game feels and how it plays, you'll then just get a more action-oriented version of that in RE4. So
it's also like it's less scary than 7 and 8. Like,
okay, because I can deal with third. I dealt with Bloodborne. All right. Some parts of Bloodborne were like, I don't know.
I don't know. Like RE2, I would say if you didn't manage RE7, you're probably going to struggle with RE2.
Oh no!
Really? I didn't think 2 was scary at all.
I would say, okay, maybe you and me didn't, but if Taylor struggled with RE7, which I would say is probably maybe 8 is the least scary, but 7 I would say was not, outside of maybe like the first hour or two, it wasn't scary on the whole. But I would say RE2 with like the atmosphere mainly, and also just Mr. X, like I think that can really mess you up.
Oh no!
Just like the knowledge of what Mr. X is doing
I
at
just
any
remembered
given moment.
something. Sam
What?
played 7 in VR. His
I did.
opinions are no longer
Valid.
valid.
How? Surely that would
Look,
surely that would make me inclined to think that it's more scary.
No,
I managed-
exactly. Which I then realized because I was like, wait, 7 was like pretty scary to me. Like
Oh.
I was pretty scared and I wasn't playing in VR and you played in VR. Okay,
Yeah.
Taylor.
All right. Like, I
Ignore
managed the part of Last of Us 2 where everyone said it was similar to Resident Evil 2.
Okay.
You'll be okay.
I just don't know if
I
I
think
can manage that
like
for 15
because
hours.
it's quite slow paced as well. RE2, if you want it to be, I think you'll be fine.
Is there a
but it
baby
is
mode?
like there is real like dread. I think dread is the right word.
Okay.
I think the atmosphere is less scary, but it's really sort of you have to sort of push yourself to go through the next door or into the next room or stuff like that.
The thing that I found scariest was the footsteps. Like
Oh,
I feel the
100%.
footsteps were the worst part.
Because you just hear them getting louder, and then you hear a door slam open. You're like, "Is that behind me, or is it in front of me in a corner I can't see?" Or
yeah,
yeah, you'll be fine. It's worth playing. I would say, even if you really can't manage it, it's worth giving it a go. Like the quality of the game that's there, and also just the amount of game that's there, particularly in RE2. You're getting a lot of bang for your buck, realistically. So there you are.
Awesome. All right, thanks. Also, I wanted to mention, all right, I might do it, which probably means I won't do it, but I like ruminating about games without actually playing them. Yeah. I really like the Street Fighter 6 news in this Capcom show was great. Street Fighter 6 with their final color commentator. The game continues to look awesome. I just want to put a spotlight on Street Fighter 6. I'll probably pick it up.
Another solid fantasy credit get.
Yes, that we have. Oh, yeah. And I'll do a little shout out for Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection. It's a very niche title that I'm glad is coming back for like 3 people that played it. If you know who you are, you know who you are, good for you. Yeah. All right, I guess it's back to me.
It is.
Okay.
Back to you, Taylor.
Now, PlayStation 5 has outsold the Nintendo Switch in Japan for the first time ever, with sales up 450% year over year in February for the PS5. This marks the biggest month ever for the PS5 console in Japan. According to Famitsu data, PS5 was February's best-selling hardware in the country, shifting 360. You mean shipping? Like it's 366.
I copied and pasted on this one. I was tired.
Okay. When it says the article says shifting about 367,000 units. I assume it meant it was shipping because I don't know if it meant shifting more than like comparatively like a shift as a comparison. I'm going to assume that's an absolute number.
I do also want to point out that they said year on year instead of year over year,
So
and I like literally had to Google what that meant because I was like, wait, what's happening?
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so it's an absolute number. So basically the PS5 in February in Japan shipped 367,000 units. And the Switch came in second, shipping about 221,000 units. PS5 sales are up 457% year over year, like we said, in Japan for February, having sold only 65 or almost 66,000 units in February of last year, 2022. Sony's console enjoyed a similarly successful February in the UK, which in February saw sales increase 316% compared to the same period in 2022. And while Switch software still dominated over Japan's software sales, with Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe topping the list with 189,000 units, and Hogwarts Legacy, which is only on PS5 and Xbox Series consoles, managed 126,000. So, yeah, don't get it twisted. The Switch is still by far the market leader right now compared to Sony or Microsoft with their home consoles. But yeah, it's pretty gnarly growth. I wonder if it's just due to supply.
Yeah, the article did mention that like briefly, and I figured that somebody would say that. But yeah, it seems to be like supply is more readily available. And it also is partially that like Xbox isn't super popular in Japan, and people are looking for that like more beefy console experience with like Harry Potter. I guess not Harry Potter, Hogwarts Legacy coming out. That seems to push a lot of sales as well. So that way they could have an experience on the console since it's not on Switch yet.
Oh, just picturing Hogwarts Legacy running on a Switch.
Yeah, I can't believe it's coming to Switch. That's like really not for me.
It's going to be running at like 2 frames a second, if that.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
boy.
going to look so good. We're going to be like, wow, look at that hot gameplay.
Hot as in it makes your Switch explode.
Yeah. That is exactly.
Switch's fans can get running pretty hard on some third-party ports.
Yeah. Just imagine when Microsoft puts Call of Duty on there, guys. That's going to be great.
I mean, there's Apex on it already, right?
Can't believe...
So,
fair
Fortnite's
point.
on it too.
But again, how well do they run? Realistically,
Apex is far more optimized than COD. I make the argument.
That's fair. Yeah,
like just on any console, like it always hits 60 FPS no matter where you're playing. But COD does similarly to that as well, because the crown jewel of a competitive multiplayer FPS is a locked 60 when it comes to a performance target.
Yeah,
I had a very brief stint where I played Apex like almost every day.
What made you stop?
I don't think you want the answer to that.
Oh,
I'm scared.
I think I know what it is. I'm gonna say it in Discord.
Sure. Kind of.
Okay, no, that's all
I'll
I need to say.
I'll tell you offline because it's like full drama that happened in the middle of an Apex game where somebody was like, our coworker that we were playing with was like, "Hey, why are you lying and saying that I said that I wanted to do something inappropriate to all of our coworkers in the middle of an Apex game?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Oh God, sorry.
And then that snowballed into what you said.
This is why we need to play Titanfall 3.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Apex has now been uninstalled. Damn it, Respawn. And I will never play Apex again, but it's no fault of the games.
All right. Who wants to talk about Warner Bros. And Rockstar?
Me. Okay. It's great. Great news, everybody. Totally couldn't see this one coming. Warner Brothers and Rocksteady have delayed Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League once again. The delay will now move the game from May, its intended release date. Announced at the state of play. I think it was announced at the state of play. Maybe it was already there beforehand. Who knows? But it had a May release date, and it has now been shifted back to later this year, according to a person with direct knowledge of the matter. This delay hasn't been officially confirmed yet, right? I've been out of the loop the past couple of days. No,
it has not been officially confirmed. And then there was also a second rumor that it was going to be delayed to 2024, and neither has been confirmed.
Yeah, but this is coming from Jason Schreier from Bloomberg, which obviously gives it a fair bit of credibility. Not necessarily concrete necessarily, but if it's coming from him, it's typically right on the money. So last fall, London-based developer Rocksteady Studios said it would be out May 6th. That answers my question. The new release date was not yet clear. Suicide Squad was showcased during a PlayStation event in February this year, but received criticism from fans due to its online live service elements, such as purchasable cosmetics and a requirement to play online, which was persistent. You have to always be online. The delay is necessary mostly, as Jason Schreier says, to fix bugs and improve aspects of the game that were lagging behind, yet won't overhaul much of the core gameplay experience that had led to the backlash. The source that Jason Schreier had was anonymous. They said that or not anonymous, but they wanted to remain anonymous. They didn't want to be named because that information, as we just said, is not yet public. Well,
great for us, you know what I mean?
I keep saying it as somebody who played a lot of Marvel's Avengers, it does hurt to see the same mistakes being made over and over again. Particularly, Crystal Dynamics was one thing. Like I enjoy the stuff that they make, But for it to happen to Rocksteady, it kind of it sucks that little bit more, because they were a studio that has such high renown within the industry and with players for the games that they made. And, you know, not to say that that is completely squashed and gone, but I think that the longer that this charade goes on and the longer that they put off putting out a game that at its core cannot be changed from what it is, the worse it's going to not blow back on them, but sort of tarnish their reputation. I think it would have been far. No, but I like it. I like it. It's a much better game, inevitably. I just think that they should have released it. They should have stuck to the release date. I think the best case scenario is they put it out of the gate, and they do what every other live service game has done, where they support it and they are really enthusiastic to begin with, and then the player base drops off, and then they announce that it's sunsetting in the near future, because then they can just move on and do something else, get back to what they're good at. Because you've seen this so many times. Crystal Dynamics did it with Marvel's Avengers. Even on a smaller scale, you had like Ninja Theory at Xbox. They did Bleeding Edge, and that didn't work. And then they went back to making what they are good at. They are doing Hellblade 2. So, like, I'm all for studios going out, trying new things. Chasing trends, different. And when it's a live service trend, that is not a good idea, especially for a studio that isn't known for making multiplayer games. Halo Infinite, another thing that is essentially dead in the water now. They set that up for a 10-year plan. That's not happening. So it sucks. It sucks. And I think it's obvious that they knew that there was going to be backlash. I think they tried to show it as best they could, but at the end of the day, you're flying around shooting purple orbs on things, which is par for the course.
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of lost as to like why like companies keep doing this formula for games, because clearly nobody wants games like this. Like,
oh, that's not true.
Yeah,
this all a lot.
I mean,
the IP carries it a lot.
Exactly. If we made, okay, let's like just pretend for a second we just made this game and it was not like Marvel. It was not DC. It was
you can't do that. It's inseparable from the IP.
Right. So, but what I'm saying is that if it's inseparable from the IP, like, why are we doing it?
To make money from the IP.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's then just leading to player disappointment.
No, there are some people who have. There's a lot of people who aren't us, I think, that aren't as tuned into games, who will say, yeah, I had a good time playing as Batman or Nightwing or Robin or Batgirl or Suicide Squad members, and it was fun for a bit, and I tailed out, and that was that.
That sounds like not a great experience, but
for a lot of people that's enough, but for Avengers, it wasn't. Unfortunately, a lot of these types of games, live service games, they might only be decent games, but they make more than enough money for the prospect of them to still be attractive for publishers and executives, so they continue them. But I hope but the thing is, Rocksteady's track record is so good. It would be a shame for Suicide Squad to have the same fate as Avengers.
And I think it's inevitable, honestly. Like,
as much as I just did a dad sneeze. Sorry, he's like downstairs and in his office, and I could hear him sneeze.
Sorry, you think what's inevitable, Sam?
No, I think that Suicide Squad ending up exactly like Avengers is going to happen the same way, because they are using the same tactics in terms of content. Avengers went, hey, you know, all of the stuff that you can purchase, just cosmetic, don't worry. All of the new characters that are coming, all the new story content, that's coming for free. Don't worry about that. Every player can get it for free, all the new characters and everything. Avengers did that, and it wasn't sustainable, because when the player count dwindles, like they always do with live service games, to an extent, obviously there are degrees, but when they start dwindling, the income drops because less people are buying the cosmetics, and you then don't have the money from pre-purchasing expansions or new characters or whatever. You don't have that to self-sustain and fund the development of new content and new characters. So Marvel's Avengers were like, hey, we're going to put She-Hulk in, we're going to put Captain Marvel, we're going to put Doctor Strange, and we got essentially none of that. Suicide Squad is saying new characters are going to come, and they're all going to come for free, and it's not going to happen. Maybe it is going to happen for a year, maybe a year and a half post-release, where they are able to fund it. But it's, when you look at live service games that work, for the most part, it is new IP that can benefit from having crossovers and collaborations with other established IP. So if you look at like Fortnite or something, even Overwatch is doing that now. Overwatch is having a crossover with
One Punch Man.
Yeah. So it's like the live servicey games as a service titles that typically do well are generic new IP that can then filter in and prompt people to be like, oh, I want a skin of this, my favorite Marvel or DC character or Star Wars or blah, 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 blah. So when you're stuck within an IP that is profitable in and of itself, like DC Suicide Squad, you are curtailed in terms of, especially because this is canon to the other Rocksteady Batman games. This is within the same world. So they are going to potentially tarnish the older games because they have ruined some of the stories that they could tell with these characters in this game. And also you can't really go outside the bounds of what would be believable in terms of outfits or whatnot. So it's like, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And that's sad, because I want Rocksteady and a game like this to succeed, because it would be awesome if it did, but they just can't, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think this is gonna play out well.
We'll see, though. You never know. But
what's really going to be interesting is if it gets pushed into 2024, because it was originally supposed to release last year.
Yeah.
And then got pushed to this year. So if it gets pushed again into another year, that would be probably bad. At that point, they might just need to like push the game out and just like not let it live in development hell for several years.
I think the goal that they're actually going for, other than like bug fixing and stuff, which is like the line that they are using as the potential PR explanation for it whenever they do make it official, I think realistically what they're doing is trying to find a release window that is not that crowded. So that there aren't many other new games that come out, so that people are inclined to be, oh, there's a new game, pick it up, play it, invest hours, therefore potentially get attached to it, want to invest more money in it. So I think they're just trying to find a spot in the year, whether that comes this year or next.
That spot that they were in May 26th, that is a terrible time for this game to come out.
Exactly.
Like that is like absolutely like one of the like the games coming out, like we have like what, Final Fantasy, Legend of Zelda. God, there's one other one that I can't remember right now. Let me look at the calendar. I have it written down.
No, I know what it is. Spider-Man.
No, you don't. Spider-Man.
I mean, that's later in the fall, though, right?
Yeah.
Wait, don't tell me. Don't tell me. Stop. Wait. I know what it is. No, don't say anything. Stop.
I'm not. I haven't even pulled it up.
Jedi Survivor.
Diablo 4.
Yeah.
Dang it.
I don't even have.
You're not far off, because it is close-ish, but actually, not speaking of that.
Diablo 4 open. So I think the early beta, closed beta, is next week. But the open beta is 2 weeks from. Yes, is the weekend of 2 weeks from now. So I might check that out. Anyway, yeah, Kill the Justice League.
Survivor is now on the calendar.
Hope Rocksteady survives.
I'm sure they'll survive. But
well, I don't. Survive isn't the word. I hope
come
they
out
succeed.
Unscathed.
I hope they succeed in spite of the concerning developments. we've seen over
and
the years so far.
Also to emphasize as well the idea that the developers at Rocksteady don't suffer due to the potential and realistic financial losses that this game will incur.
Yeah.
And the reception of it, I just hope that doesn't, and it will, because it always does, unfortunately. But I hope that the impact on the developers and their job security and whatnot isn't too bad, because they don't deserve it. You know, they're trying hard. I'm sure Rocksteady themselves didn't decide to make a live servicey game. They might have wanted to try it or have that as a part of another game, but I think that this decision to make the game what it is mostly came from higher up the chain. So heart goes out to the Rocksteady devs.
Absolutely. Unfortunate.
Yeah.
I know this is a Bree story, not next.
What does that mean, sir? What does that mean?
It's a story that you would be interested in talking about because
Why
you
do you
like
think I
Riot
put
games.
it? No, honestly, story 7 is like really my story, but yeah, it's fine. Two former Riot executives have teamed up to form a new studio that aims to make, quote, a next generation open world game. This new studio is called the Believer Company, and it was founded by former Riot president Michael Chow, who will serve as the studio's CEO, and founding Riot member and League of Legends executive producer Steven Snow, who is now the Believer Company's chief product officer. The Believer Company has already secured $55 million in Series A financing. A press release states that this funding is led by Lightspeed Venture Partners and will quote initially be put to work building a world-class team to deliver a next-generation open-world game anchored by an IP, stories where player choices matter, and gameplay systems that bring players together rather than pushing them apart. The $55 million round was funded, quote, with the key support of Andreessen Horowitz, I'm so sorry if I said that wrong, plus additional seed funding from Bitcraft Ventures, Riot Games, One Up Ventures, Don Thompson's Cleveland Avenue, Michael D. Eisner's Tornate Company, and other venture partners. The Believer Company is based in Los Angeles, California, and the studio will work with developers all over the world. Love new studio announcements. So I also thought it was kind of cute that they left Riot, and then Riot was like, "Yeah, we'll fund you." I just like that.
Yeah, I suppose so. That is nice to.
Yeah,
nice to
it's
see.
really cute.
They're like, we can still be friends.
Yeah, it's so sweet.
It is
Interesting to see. You know, again, not talking about developers sort of doing interesting things. I know it's a new studio, but people from Riot going on to do a next generation open world game, like that's interesting, because that's obviously not what you initially think of when you think of Riot. So it's like, that's super cool, again, like ambition, but it's sort of, I imagine it says original IP. I guess they've left it vague enough where it's probably super early days and stuff, but I'm just really intrigued to see what that looks like. A new studio funded by various partners, but including Riot and its ex-Riot devs making an open world game. I suppose just because I'm thinking of, I can't remember what the name of it was called. Ruined King. The role-playing game.
Oh, right.
From League of Legends. Like, I covered that for IGN, but I ended up really, really liking that game.
Oh, yeah? I haven't played it yet. I want to. I'm familiar enough with the story that
it's cool. Again, I have absolutely zero context for any of the characters, but from what I can gather, a lot of them are like people that you would know if you've played League of Legends. So I'm not looking at anyone in particular in this chat.
No, nobody in particular. Yeah,
no, nobody.
If somebody
nobody
had,
like nobody to the left of me, but somebody maybe below me, maybe.
maybe.
Maybe. again, not that this, because it's a new IP, but it's sort of looking at what Riot devs have done in something that is slightly ajar or adjacent to what they've done historically. I think there's just a lot of potential there, so I'm excited.
Yeah. I don't know if this is cool or not. I'm just going to go on a slight tangent. So, Ruined King is the original thing comes from, there was this item in the game called Blade of the Ruined King, which of course gets, for people who play the game, that's Bork. It's what it's called. So it was originally just an item that you could build in League of Legends, and then they released a champion that is the Ruined King, and that was like years after Bork. I don't even know if Bork exists in the game anymore, to be honest with you. I think it might be one of the ones that they had removed, but yeah, that's where it originally came from. I don't know if that's cool or not, but I think it's cool.
Mm.
There you go.
Nice
useless League of Legends knowledge. I played it last night.
Woo-hoo.
Started playing immediately. Somebody was toxic. It was great. I was like, oh, this is why I love this game so much.
Was it a voice chat or just the way they were playing?
Oh, there's no voice chat.
Oh.
It's too toxic. They won't allow voice chat unless it's like you're friends with somebody and you queued up with them.
Yeah, seems about right.
Yeah. No, it was like literally immediately somebody like was spam pinging and then was like, why are you so bad at like this other person? And I was like, just leave them alone. Like they died like one time. Anyways, League of Legends is great. Love it.
You said you wanted to talk about Mick Jagger in Fortnite.
I do. As it's pronounced, Eren Yeager, for people who know. Eren Yeager's no, he's coming to Fortnite. So Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan has been announced to be Fortnite's Chapter 4 Season 2 special skin. According to the amount of days listed until its release in the Battle Pass, it will possibly be released on the 15th of April. Though you can't currently unlock Eren Yeager skin in Fortnite yet, you can catch a glimpse of his cosmetic rewards alongside the skin. There will be 8 rewards, including the skin itself. Whether any additional rewards will be added is yet to be seen. The list is a face-off spray, the basement key back bling, Scout Regiment salute emote, Titan Strike harvesting tool, the Determined Eren emoticon, a Regiment Gear weapon wrap, and then the Attack on Titan themed banner icon, and then of course the Eren Yeager skin. This comes from Lottie Lynn at Eurogamer.
Hell yeah.
Good for you, Attack on Titan fan.
We love our little angry boy.
It's not in this story, Bree. But are you also aware that the vertical movement equipment is actually coming to the game as an item that you can use as well?
I did not know that.
So you
I will not be playing because I don't play Fortnite. But yeah. I'm really excited. If I would have what would have gotten me into Fortnite would have been My Hero Academia and unlocking Bakugo. Like that would have been it. But,
I mean, My Hero Academia stuff is in the game.
Yeah, it is. That's what I'm saying.
That's
what I'm saying. If I had gotten in at any point is when that was released.
With you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I think because I do like oh my god, why am I not remembering the name of the game? Never mind. I guess it doesn't matter because I can't remember the name. Doesn't matter. My brain will remember later, and then I'll be like, "Oh, that was stupid." That's cool.
Another battle royale, or
no? It's fine. It's fine. I'll
Jump Force. That's an anime crossover thing,
right?
No, it's such an obvious like name that like I should just remember it, but my brain like just can't think of anything else besides like Fortnite. Like my brain just keeps repeating like Fortnite.
That's fair enough.
Overwatch. There we go.
Wow! Wow! That was a
yeah. Do you see? I'm like, this is gonna be embarrassing later when I remember. What I'm saying is I really enjoy that game, and so like because I already enjoy playing that game and I enjoy the gameplay loop, I might get into the game. Specifically for the One Punch Man crossover because I do really love One Punch Man because One Punch.
I mean, I play Fortnite very, not rarely, but sort of very casually because I have to cover it a lot for some of the assignments that I have at IGN. covering all the updates and stuff. So I've written extensively about all of this stuff, the launch of the new season. It's cool. The crossovers in Fortnite are something that continues to impress me, as much as I don't necessarily love the game. I think the zero build thing is good that they put that in, because it was far too sweaty and toxic when you were able to build stuff. But in the mode that's basically just a third person shooter, it's decent.
I have to tell you, my brain when you said like, oh, I play Fortnite sometimes, I was about to be like, you look like you play Fortnite.
Jesus.
That's why
it's that bad, huh? Oh dear.
I don't know what that even means, but yeah.
Neither do I, but I feel like it was an insult. So
it was for sure.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't
That's
know
fine.
what it
I'll
means.
Take it. I'll take it. Yeah, I think that they really don't half-ass. Not that really any other crossover does, or there are some, to be fair. But Fortnite do put a lot of effort into their crossover stuff. So, and this doesn't seem to be any different. As I said, the vertical movement equipment, for those that care, is something that you can use to swing about. So, and maybe even like, not that I know anything at all, but speculating, because there's all this crossover stuff going on. Maybe there is going to be like a Titan that appears on the map at some point.
Oh, that would be so scary, especially in like the Fortnite art style. Like that's gonna look creepy.
Yeah.
They put the Colossal Titan. No, the Colossal Titan's too big. I lied. They're not gonna put the Colossal Titan.
But you know,
maybe
I
they'll
think
do
that
like
there's...
Armored Titan.
Yeah, probably. I think if anybody, it would be that.
Are you caught up on Attack on Titan? You don't want to, right?
Not fully, but I think I'm a season behind.
Okay.
I watch it very, very slowly. Yeah,
I watch it. I play Titanfall.
Okay, wait. Okay, so does anybody else have anything to say about this story? Because I have a question before we get into the Last of Us stuff.
No.
Okay. Do you think it's more of an insult to say you look like you play Fortnite, or you look like you're a Minecraft kid?
Minecraft kid, I think.
I think Fortnite. Minecraft's based. Minecraft's cool.
Okay, so Taylor's Minecraft.
As the kids would say, Minecraft is based. Like, I was a Minecraft kid. Yeah.
Okay, so then
My
is it
Minecraft
worse to be
license?
like you look like you played Roblox?
That's a lot worse.
That is worse.
Roblox sucks.
What about you look like you're an iPad kid?
That's worse too.
Okay.
I'm of the belief Minecraft
what does that even mean?
Is the premier childhood video game. My Minecraft license is 10 years old and I still have it. I haven't paid. I paid for Minecraft for $20 in 2011 or 2012, and I still have the same license.
Yeah, me too. I'm with you on that one. But I think that
cool.
There's maybe, again, not that I'm not trying to pitch and defend for Fortnite, but I just think that in terms of widespread appeal, you are in a larger pool of people if on the Fortnite side than you might be on the Minecraft side. Not that Minecraft isn't obviously popular, but I think that its core contingent fan base is notably and majority younger, I'd say.
Yeah.
Whereas Fortnite is still very much young kid centric in all the voice chats and everything, but I think that there is maybe more verticality in terms of the age scaling there.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you guys like giving me your opinion on which insults are worse so I can use them later.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Also, what were you asking me? Like, what does that even mean? The iPad kid thing?
Yeah, as opposed to what? Not having an iPad?
Yeah. Do you not know, like, if you never heard that term, like iPad kid?
No.
Okay, well, I'll have to find. I just saw a TikTok about it the other day. It's just like the kids that like didn't go outside. All they did was like sit on their iPad, and then they like they just like sit on their bed and like play on their iPad. And yeah, I'll have to send you the TikTok because it explains it perfectly. But I knew exactly when I saw the TikTok, I was like, "That's an iPad kid right there."
That makes sense.
Okay, there we go. Are we all caught up on Last of Us?
Yes.
That we are.
I'm so proud of you, Taylor.
I'm so proud.
I'm not sure that was sarcastic, to be fair.
I
that
wasn't
was
being
mean, Paige.
sarcastic, but
All right, fine. Just keep insulting me.
Taylor,
I thought
I will call you an iPad kid. Don't threaten me.
I thought episodes 7 and 8 were about as by the book as it gets. Well, we went a little more in depth on Dave. spoilers for The Last of Us Part 1 and
Yeah, we're about to go
the TV
in
show.
case you couldn't tell.
Other than going to a little more depth as to how twisted David is, I thought episodes 7 and 8 were about as by the book as it gets when it comes to following the main game's plot. Other than Joel
works.
other than Joel being landing on a rusty metal pole, he's stabbed instead, and he's recovering from that. And David has short hair now. That's about as much. I don't know. There might have been a few differences with Riley's motivation for in Left Behind. I forget. Did Riley say specifically she was joining the Fireflies and she was going to Atlanta? Because I don't remember that.
She was definitely with the Fireflies.
Okay, the Atlanta part was the part I was like, I don't know if that was in the game.
I can't remember specifically if she was
still. Yeah, I thought it was just basically the main game's plot thrown on the screen. Wasn't much was about as little deviation as I've seen on the show so far, and it works. It happened. It was a bit appalling seeing Ellie effectively dismantle David, but I thought they were good episodes. Just nothing that blew me away because I knew exactly what I was expecting from the game.
I actually kind of disagree on, especially on episode 8.
Ooh.
For me, like there was a part in the show where we were just like sitting and watching together at the table or whatever. There was a part, I can't even remember what David says, but it got me, and like it, like my whole body, like I was like shivers up my body, like it just like grossed me out so much.
Oh wait, like we can do this together or something about little pieces.
I don't remember. Yeah, it was something he said.
You'll always have a father, maybe.
He's
actually, yeah, the David part with the cannibal, they went more in depth with David being a horrible cannibal. Yeah, that was
it wasn't.
I will give it credit there.
It was like how creepy he was with Ellie. Like,
oh yeah, he's like a pedo cannibal.
Yeah, it's awful, and like I really like. So that was a lot for me. Like watching it, like I feel like they just like had it. There was just more time watching him be a creep. Do you know what I mean? Like versus like the game, it felt like it wasn't as much time.
No, you're right. They went more in depth with David
just sitting
weird.
With him being weird. Yeah. And then like I started tearing up like at the part where like Ellie freaks out and like kills him and like doesn't stop. Like I started like that like was like really overwhelming for me. So yeah. I would say that those pieces like hit me, and then like the baby girl, I just started crying. I was like, "Oh my god, dude."
Yeah, you would.
I would. You're right.
Yeah, imagine like trying to do the take where Ellie's just slicing up David and Neil's like, let's do another one, be more gruesome next time. Do it again. Now do it again. Like what if you needed to do separate? I assume that must happen in movies and shows. You have to do multiple takes of a gruesome death scene.
Yeah, they for sure did multiple takes, but the other thing you have to remember is that like because like your brain has like a little bit of the like it holds information, and so when you're acting, it kind of bleeds into your real life, and so like I'm sure that must have been really hard for like Bella Ramsey as well, like just doing that scene over and over again, because like that probably really affected her. So just like thinking about stuff like that.
Could have been hitting a watermelon in actuality.
That's true.
Okay, I probably shouldn't joke about that. Yeah. What about you, Sam?
Yeah, I enjoyed them both.
Okay, 7 out of 10.
I think I'm kind of in between both of you, where I think that it goes to show, you Taylor saying is sort of by the books. I think that is correct. And like Bree said, it's because the story works. But at the same time, it kind of emphasized to me or reiterated the fact that I have adored where they've deviated. And how if this was just a clear-cut 100% faithful retelling, I probably would have enjoyed the show overall a lot less. So yeah, I think it's I wasn't ever surprised in these 2 episodes or shocked or anything. I obviously knew what was coming at pretty much every point. But it was just really well executed, the same as the rest of the show. So I don't really have any complaints. I think that if I was to be really specific, the one thing that I think was lacking a little bit was and I understand why they didn't and why they executed it the way that they did, but the segment with Ellie and David as they're waiting for James to come back with medicine, the fact that there is no infected encounter there.
Oh, right. Like the game, there's little hoarding
you
little
sort of
unlimited ammo
face
hoarding
off
count you have to deal with.
a massive amount of infected, and I get why they didn't, but I think that even with what they did in the show, it could have been enhanced that little bit more, because the point of that infected encounter, more so than anything, is to build a kind of rudimentary trust and dynamic between David and Ellie that makes
and they never build that
the turn of David's actual real persona that much more of a like, oh god. And they did do it in different ways in the show. They achieved the same thing, but I just think it would have been even more effective if not necessarily a horde of infected, but if they had to fend off a few infected at the very least, not even a bloater, just have a few clickers. And that would also, added bonus, emphasize how skilled Ellie has become over time. And she could still make a few mistakes and sort of fumble a little bit, but to have her without Joel manage to take down a clicker or 2 by herself with David's help, I think that would have done something at the very least. And I felt that as an absence more so than I felt most other segments of the game that have been omitted. Not crucial by any means, but I think it was just that extra flavor was missing just a tad. But other than that, it was just 2 excellent episodes of television, which is more than I can ask for, really. So
if you are like a fan, if you know what's going on with the game, I would say it like really adds to the experience to watch with people that don't know what's coming. I really think that that's like been like really great for me, where like the people I'm watching with have no idea what's going on, and so everything's a surprise to them, and I really enjoy like seeing their reactions to everything. So
yeah, I mean, I've been watching it with family throughout, and they've been shocked a number of times. But my dad actually clocked on really quick that they were cannibals. He got it pretty much immediately when David said that they would bury the dad in the spring. He was like, oh, okay, I see.
That's so funny, because my dad was the one to pick up on that as well.
Yeah,
must be a dad thing.
And obviously, like, I think the pin drop sort of reveal is meant to be when the bloke is like, oh, this meat it's venison.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say.
Then David and James come in with the deer. It's like, oh wait, that's meant to be the other way around. What is that meat then?
Or they say, oh, it's deer meat, and they said only a few people, and David said only a few to Ellie. I think he was talking to Ellie. Yeah, only a few people know that we eat others here, and and I think you can reasonably infer, besides David and James, the only other folks who would know are the people who prepare the meals, the cooks, right?
Yeah. And even then, like the mother who was doing like the actual cooking didn't seem to know.
Yeah,
like she asked what the meat was, and it was the bloke that brought it in that was like, it's venison. So I think even then there's like a degree of separation where maybe she does have like suspicions because she had to ask what meat it was. But like, you know, they do all the butchering in that garage or whatever it was, and then bring the chopped up meat in to be cooked. So yeah, no, it's very good stuff. I said to Bree off air not too long ago, I'm intrigued to see how they wrap it up with only one episode left. There isn't that much story left to cover realistically, but this finale episode is actually set to be one of the shortest of the whole series, at least from reports. It's meant to be like, I think, around 40 minutes.
Wow.
Which, and that could have changed. Obviously, they could have added or cut in some more stuff since that report came out. But I think that it's obvious that they're going to basically just cut straight to the Fireflies picking up Joe and Ellie and bring them into the hospital. But as Bree pointed out to me, it's like they still need to do the stuff with Ashley Johnson. So it's like they have.
I guess to be fair, we don't know how much they're doing there, but
that's fair.
Since like they're doing this whole extra thing, like I feel like they should be doing, like I thought that they would be doing a lot with it, like 30 minutes or whatever. But then they're not just going to do like 10 minutes of the other stuff.
Even like another Bill and Frank episode is what I would have expected from doing this kind of diversion with a secondary character, especially one that we haven't even met in the game. Like this is completely brand new stuff with a brand new character. Well, not a brand new character because she's established in the game, but she's not in the games.
Do you guys remember when there was rumors that she would be in part 2?
Yeah, I mean, people thought that Abby in the reveal trailer was Ellie's mom, which was obviously not what happened, and some people were not happy about that. But yeah, no, I mean, it's cool that we're finally getting this backstory. It just depends on. Again, I said to you, Bree, I have faith. They've executed everything else very well up to this point. So as much as I do have potentially concerns about the pacing and how they managed to pull everything together, they've given me no reason not to trust them thus far. So
100%. All right, guys. Well, I think we're gonna go ahead and dip out because we're like pushing into our meeting time now.
Yeah.
So we gotta end. But Taylor, do you wanna?
Yeah.
You want me to do it or you got it?
I'll do it. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. And you can find us on youtube.com/SaveTheGameMedia. And don't forget to check out our Discord if you want to hang out. It's where we talk almost every day about everything. And links are all in the description. And where can people find you, Sam?
People can find me on Twitter at Sam Heaney. That's HEANEY.
You can find me at Fabulist Brianna, FABULIST BREANNA.
ANNA.
That is how you spell Anna.
Anna. No, it's just one Anna. All right. And you can find me on the Discord. Yeah. And until next time, guys, thanks for listening to No Limits, episode 35. And have a good one.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.